Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Every leader has a journey. And with the leader speak, we are trying to understand their journey and how they have come, the hurdles that have come their way. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Rohit Srivastwa. He's a virtual CISO at various large enterprises. He's an author. He's a founder at multiple firms. He's a chartered member of TIE, mentor, investor, cybersecurity evangelist. He specializes in many things: user privacy, security awareness, security transformation, darknet, cyber incident response, cyber threat intelligence, cyber crime investigation, and much more. Thank you so much, Rohit sir, for being there and speaking with me.
Great, Vandana. Nice to have you in this discussion, and let's see how it goes.
Thank you so much. So first of all, I wanted to understand, what is this virtual CISO all about? Like, this is a term which I've been hearing from past few years, and you are at this role. So what this role is all about?
Okay, so this is a role for companies to save money and get the security done. So basically, you don't have to hire a full-time CISO if you are in that situation, and still get all the security controls done, because a lot of the companies may not be in a position to have a complete full-time CISO and run the show that way. But that's just a joke. Interestingly, this is becoming very active these days, wherein companies get consulting CISOs, so to say. It's not on their payroll, and hence it's called as virtual, because it's a part-time role. It's not a full-time person sitting in the office. But at the same time, the complete CISO activity is outsourced, and then the team, and it's never an individual person. It's always a team, and the team takes care of your security controls that way.
So why is it needed? Like, I understand it's maybe to get in for some time, but why exactly is this role needed? And what are the advantages which a virtual CISO has over a full-time CISO, or maybe an organization might have an advantage?
Okay, so there are various use cases and scenarios where a virtual CISO is the best fit. There are a lot of companies who are not into pure play IT or tech business, and a CISO, a full-time CISO, may not have a lot of career growth there. A lot of such companies have seen, and we have a lot of such customers of ours as well, where we have seen that after some time the CISO want to move on. The CISO doesn't have a career graph in this company, and then the company is stuck, because company does require security, but there's no one sticking around for a long term to help them out. So those kind of companies do get a lot of benefit from a virtual CISO. There are companies who have CISOs as well, and wherever there are a CISO, a lot of such companies also are customers, because the CISO is occupied and busy in some of the activity. He may be a compliance person. He may be a pure play tech person. Different CISOs have different roles. One person cannot have all the skills. So a CISO may be too much occupied in maintaining the business with the business leaders, or maybe too much occupied in compliances, a lot of such activities. What happens in that case is then you require someone to take care of the rest of the functions. Now, a company who's having trouble hiring one CISO, think of a company who now have to hire a CISO and a juniors guy and a team there to take care of rest of the stuff. So, and there are various fields, right? There's privacy, there is security architecture, there is the compliance, there's the budgets. All of those things are there in a company to be taken care of. And as I said, one person may not have all the skills. So that's how where the virtual CISO comes into picture. The virtual CISO take care of those requirements, so to say.
That's really interesting. So will it be a short-term role or a long-term role?
Okay. We as a team generally take pride in this, that once we start doing an activity with someone, we have a goodbye date. On that day, we say goodbye to the company that you don't need us anymore. It's not in favor of our business, because since the customer is there, long running and long paying customer, it's always good. But we take a pride in dealing with customer. We say customer goodbye. Okay, whatever the task was, we have done, delivered. hand it over, and now you can take the company ahead. And believe me, almost 50% of our customers find one way or the other to extend the contract and continue the relationship. Because see, you can set up the whole privacy framework only once. After that, it is just a running activity. Or you can set up the whole security architecture once. After that, is just a very incremental change which is required in the whole security architecture, right? So once we set it up, we hand it over and we say, okay, now the contract is over and we are ready to go. And a lot of companies have come back to us that, okay, can we continue? Can we get on a retainer model that wherever there's a need, we can take your help? So we do that as well, that whenever there's a need, do give us a call. We will be there to help. But yes, there is a limited time frame for which we operate.
Yeah, this is a very interesting aspect. So when it comes to taking services, will it be enterprise will be taking services, or medium business, or startups or unicorns who will be taking the services?
Okay. Let me tell you, right now, and I'm proud to say that we are one of the top VCSO providers. We have a pool of consultants who we provide as VCSO into different customers. Now, our smallest customer has 5 users, and our largest customer has 17,000 users. So you can understand the variety of the stuff. We have customers from manufacturing, we have customers from ITS, we have a very small startup who's working on some fintech domain. So it is all varied, and we do not shy away from helping them out because there are a lot of people who can take care of security of a big organization. What about a startup who's just starting up and who's serious about security, but there's no one who can help them out? So that's where we take customers in all the ranges. As I said, my minimum is 5 people company where we are helping them, and our maximum is one of a big giant in Europe where they have 17,000 people, and we help them again into all security aspects.
That's an incredible thing. Now, on the same lines, I've got a question wherein, do you need to look at, like, being a virtual CISO, do you need to look at each aspect of security, or like the pool of people that you have, like the way you said, pool of consultants, do they specialize on each aspect, maybe risk assessment, maybe application security, maybe network security, or SOC, or something else?
As I said, one person cannot know all of this. And if there's a person who said, I know
Right.
all of that, I'm an expert in that, that person is faking.
Right.
So because there are different domains to be maintained, we have pools of consultants. And all of the skill set is available as a pool. So what happens when a customer onboards us, he onboards a single point of contact who would take care of majority of the activity. But in the back, the consultant may have more people in the domains to help them out. So yes, we have people who are specialists in all of these areas. We have people who are specialists in deploying a NIST based architecture to a company's organization and set them up into the security program that they can take it up from there. We have team who does training and war game simulation with the boards only. They deal only with the board to guide them that in case of a problem, in case of a disaster, or in case something hits, what should be their way of resilience? What should be their way of responding to it? We have a team specialized in incident response. So I am not an expert in all of these areas. I know few of them. I'm still learning a lot of them, but there is a pool. We have people who take care of all of them. So a company may get, so out of the whole pool of consultant, a company may get me as a virtual CISO or someone else from my team as a virtual CISO, but that's just the face and the uh, engagement officer who's engaging with you. He has power of other skills in the back. That's how it operates.
Yeah. It is actually a very interesting role. So they do work with the board. Do they have a say in the board strategies or the way the board vision is?
Yes. What happens is, see, as you can understand, this is not something where the project can be actually taken up by a junior security guy and he can onboard a virtual CISO or something like that. It would be always required the senior management's involvement to decide and take this service. Once they start looking at the service, once they start getting the value out of it, It has been a situation that a lot of board come back to consult us whenever they are doing something new. Suppose they are starting up a new office, a new branch office, or during the whole pandemic time, suddenly we were overflooded with calls. Okay, we have to go home, work from home. What should we do? And in most of the cases, we said we are already ready. You don't have to spend even a penny more because the architecture by which we have configured you is capable. Not that I was a visionary and I knew that this was going to happen. I have prepared you that way. But yes, the way if you do basics right, if the basics are strong and right, these things are easy to set up. And that's what we did with a lot of our companies. They just simply moved over working from home with a very minimal requirement. These kind of problems do come with board. They come back to you and keep asking you. Once they have a confidence in you and your team, then we help them in everything. They come back to us that whenever there's a change in strategy, whenever they're doing a senior role placement. I've seen cases where after running the virtual CISO services, now the company says, can I hire a full-time CISO also so that he stays in my office while you continue? I said, yes. And then they asked us to appoint someone. So we have gone ahead, recruited a lot of people, placed them as a CISO in different company. So those kind of role, and as you can see, this activity can only be done by the board and the senior management. This cannot be done at the even the level one down there. So that's how it works.
So virtual CISO actually covers almost every part of it, wherein it's like working together with multiple people, getting the basics right and things right for the organization.
It also works parallelly with the CFOs and other people because,
Mm-hmm.
see, a company may not have a CISO who can make the CFO and the CEO or the other CXO understand what is required. That's where when you require a senior person, and you cannot hire a senior person for these roles because of the lack of budget or some other issues. So then you require someone as a friend out there whom you can call and take help. And then that's the friend which we provide as a service.
Wow, interesting. Very, very interesting concept. And I think this is something which is going to grow more in the industry because we need more virtual CISOs who can help organization as and when needed, and especially for advisors. Thank you for joining me today. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks a lot, Amanda.